Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Am I surprising you? And let's say hello to a few folks here this morning. And here we go. Okay, Kevin, how are you? Good to have you on with us. And Rosa, good morning. And Francis Marie, Sandra from Marilia, good morning. I surprised you, Kevin, eh? Brahim, hi. I was supposed to be traveling today. Jeanette and Nicole from our staff, good morning. Chantal, bonjour, from Ottawa. Mike from Norland. Laurie Lee from Ventura, California, good morning. Bright and early this morning. Jeanette, bonjour. Mary, how are you? Wendy, good morning. And Kadaju, Dottie, New Brunswick. Brian, good morning. And Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. And Lori from Niagara Falls. Linda, love those Lindas. David. And from Jensen Beach, Florida. Beautiful. Patty. Diane from LaSalle. Helga. Carol Ann. Rain in Newfoundland. Fran from Orangeville. Good morning. Chantal and André. Bonjour de Sudbury. Hi, Doc. Good morning. Shirley. Cindy. Luella. And Donna, yeah, I know, I'm surprising all you guys. Wanda, yeah, my plans change. Rita, good morning. Babika, Naperville, Illinois, been there. Alicia, South Carolina. Rosalinda, Cold, Niagara Falls. Leela, and Donna from Thunder Bay. Suzanne, Sturgeon. Gertie, how are you? Burlington. And Sue, good morning. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Joanne, how are you? Maria, how are you? And I expect our numbers to be down because I'm surprising this morning, but we're doing this and we're going to be questioning Aunt Marina, good morning, and Carol from Moncton, and Anne from Moncton, Cheryl from West Virginia. I want to sing badly. Bruno, North Bay. And the Henrys in Sudbury. Janet, snowstorm on its way. Yeah, that's why I'm not traveling. Okay? I'm not traveling because of that expected snowstorm. Okay, bad weather in Sault Ste. Marie. Oh yeah, huh? Okay, Denise. From Kansas City, Missouri. And Francis, good morning. Okay, guys, let's get going. I want to talk about changes. Okay? Changes. Now, this week, we've been doing the war. Okay? We talked about the war on vitamin D. The war, yesterday we talked about the war on red meat. And there's a war going on and there's changes, especially in the food system. I was looking up a company, Nestle's, one of the 7 or 8 companies that run all the food industry in the world. Now listen to how big Nestle's is, okay? Now, I remember Nestle's as a kid because the first thing that I remember when I hear the word Nestle's is Nestle's Quick. You remember that? Is that stuff still around? Remember, you could make chocolate milk. You just put a little bit of powder in your milk. Nestle's Quick. I know, I'm an old guy. But some of you would remember that. Okay? Now, Nestle's has built its foundation on sugar. and especially a bad sugar called high fructose corn syrup. They produce over 2,000 brands. Nestle's. When you go to the middle aisles of your grocery store, Nestle's has over 2,000 brands. They have 436 factories around the world making food. Now, if you remember in my book, The Metabolic Reset, okay? And by the way, my new book, The Sun, Steak, and Steel, I have redone the Metabolic Reset. I just sort of rejigged it. Not the 30-day reset per se, but just talking about the problem, insulin resistance, what is metabolic syndrome. And I really go into some detail there, and I think you'll appreciate it once that book comes out. But what I'm saying is that the world has changed big time in terms of food. Okay? And if you remember in my book, The Metabolic Reset, I talked about the changes that occurred. And they haven't been good. Do you know when the first fast food was? In about 1880, 1890. You know what happened? They made bread a fast food. They went from a stone ground to porcelain rollers. What? What does that mean? Well, it changed bread. You know when the Bible says man shall not live by bread alone? Well, bread used to be good for you. It had a lot of B vitamins. It was high in protein. Did you know that? But they changed the flour. They changed wheat. And today, why do we see so much problems? Not only because it become bread, my friend, if you go to the grocery store and buy bread, it is a fast food. Oh, Dr. Martin, it's got whole grains. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's what happens inside your body when you eat it. It gets to your bloodstream in nanoseconds as sugar. There's so little protein in bread. There's so little nutrients in bread. As a matter of fact, what they did is in the 1930s, they enriched bread. They put fake vitamins in there. Your body couldn't absorb that on the best of days. And so we saw enormous changes. Fast foods. The first one was the change in bread, flour. And it's too bad because we have a society today that is so sick. And, you know, like, we have all our emphasis in the wrong areas. Now, look, I understand that, you know, medicine, they're trained to deal with symptoms. Medicine is trained really where they're at their best is when you get sick. They don't know how to keep you from getting sick. Well, as a matter of fact, they got it all wrong. Oh, what makes you sick is cholesterol. No, it doesn't. You know, as I was mentioning yesterday on the war on red meat, why did that war occur in the first place? We went into some pretty great detail. And we talked about a guy named Ansel Keys who started this whole cholesterol, and he hooked up with the food industry. And they perpetrated a lie that cholesterol is the boogeyman, that fat makes you fat. And even today, you have a hard time changing people's minds because they've been so indoctrinated. You know, wasn't it a Canadian politician at one time said this not long ago, said if you say a lie long enough, people will believe it. It will become part of their DNA. It's a narrative and they believe it. And that's why, you know, people are scared of red meat. They've been told it's not good for them. And they've been told and told and told and told. Better to eat grains. You sit a dietitian down today. They're well-educated people, folks. Sit a dietitian down today. Sit a doctor down today. Almost any doctor, sit there and they will talk to you about the food pyramid. On the bottom, which is why, right in a pyramid, right? Grains, fruits and vegetables. Okay? And at the top, very narrow, right at the top, you have eggs, meat, and cheese. That's at the top, meaning very limited. And here we are in 2022 at the end of it, and they believe that. Well, you see, the food pyramid is upside down. And you know what? We have a population today. Let me just say this. We have a population that looks like the food pyramid. Look at people today. What are they? They're wide. We're so much bigger than we used to be. Right? Because the food pyramid is upside down. It's upside down. But you get that training. You get Nestle's. You get Kraft. You get PepsiCo. And you get Coca-Cola. They're in there. Believe me, they're the big. They don't just make Pepsi. They own, I mean, hundreds and hundreds of labels in the middle aisles of the grocery store are owned by 7 or 8 companies. Crazy. And they've completely changed our thinking. And they've indoctrinated very successfully. I mean, if you want to talk about marketing, think about that. They have marketed to doctors, dietitians, anybody in the nutrition industry, and they have this mantra: fat is bad, carbs are better. Fat makes you fat. Fat gives you cholesterol. And the rest really is history. And what I'm trying to do is undo that. One person at a time. Undo it. Change your thinking. Change your mind. Not easy. I understand that. And for some things, I'm not that optimistic. And when I look at the whole world and I look at the way they get duped, okay? I mean, if you went and asked even most physicians, I hate to say this, but I think I'm right. If you were to do a survey of most physicians, they don't even know what metabolic syndrome is. Tell me, if I ask the physician, tell me what metabolic syndrome, they know what metabolism is. They know what the word metabolic means, but they don't understand the syndrome. What are you talking about? And then if you were to tell them that 93%, 93, it was 88 in 2016, here we are in 2022 and it's 93. Hasn't gotten better, it's gotten worse. And my friend, metabolic syndrome has everything to do with changing the mind, changing the psyche of people. They look at love in all the wrong places. They don't even know what metabolic syndrome is, which is high blood pressure, which is high triglycerides, which is low cholesterol, because cholesterol is your friend. There's no such thing as bad cholesterol. It's made up, my friend. And you guys know more than the average bear. You're smarter than the average bear. Because you think. You're not indoctrinated. And like I was saying to you guys yesterday on the war on red meat, I love history, but I have watched it. It's happened in my lifetime. The first one was flour. That was before I was born. My grandchildren think I was born in the days of Noah. Okay? Grandpa, you're old. I am. But I've watched. I've seen things happen. I've watched it happen, even as a little boy. And then when I was in school, in high school, then in university, I watched it happen. I watched them go after me, then my kids, then my grandchildren, and now my great-grandchildren. I'm watching what they're doing. And there is an unholy network. Food industry, pharmaceutical industry, powerful, unbelievably powerful. Think of what I just said about Nestle, how big they are, how much money they are. And God bless Pfizer and that. Holy moly. They made over $1 trillion last year. Trillion, not billions. Trillions. They're so big. You don't think they have influence? Do you think it's going to be easy to turn this ship around, my friend? The ship, the Titanic? We're in such bad shape. But you see, if you don't even know what the problem is, metabolic syndrome, it's the problem. It's not a virus. It's not a bacteria. I was reading about the Spanish flu. What was it? 1918 to 19. What was the Spanish flu? 1918. Yep, I remember that. And 1918 and 1919. You know how many people it killed? I think it was 45 million people. A fifth, or 5% of the population was wiped out by the Spanish flu. But it's terrible. But today, we're more interested in bugs. We're more interested in bugs than we are in metabolic syndrome. because that's a food problem. Metabolic syndrome is a food problem. And it's the leading cause of non-viruses, non-bacteria deaths. That's why we talk about it every day. It's the leading cause. And 93% of the population have it. And it's because the food pyramid is upside down. People live in the middle aisles of their grocery store. Fake foods, really. With bad flour, bad fat, bad sugar. Nestle's grew on sugar. And of course, the leading poison in all of that. Anytime you see sugar added, guys, anytime, understand what it is. It's high fructose corn syrup. That is poison for your body. Because high fructose corn syrup, first of all, is the farthest thing from nature that you can get. It was made in a lab. It is extremely sweet. You know, if you want to look at the history of the food industry, you'll see a big change when tobacco. You know when tobacco got caught? You know what the biggest tobacco company in the world was? Philip Morris. You know what they did? It's like you have to read about it. They got into the food industry. And all their scientists that knew how to hook you on cigarettes, like they knew how to hook you, man. I mean, I don't know if you remember this, but smoking, I mean, they lied through their teeth for years because they said, well, first of all, it's not addictive. Boy, they were masters at it. And you probably know people, or you might have been one of them, that was hooked on cigarettes at one time. You know, I always laugh in Northern Ontario because it's kind of funny. You know, you go visit someone in the hospital or whatever, and you see people outside with their patients. You know, they're hooked up to their IV and they're smoking. Like I said, if that isn't an addiction, I don't know what is. But you see, the tobacco industry was smart from their perspective. They got into the food industry. And they brought their scientists with them and said, okay, how are we going to hook people on our food? And man, they started a process, and we see it today. I watched it happen. Sugar, 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 sugar. Then they switched to sugar. It even got worse. They found a sugar that was so addictive. And they switched everything in there, from soda to cereals. They switched the sugars. Not that sugar was ever really that good for you. And listen, I had cookies and ice cream too, you know, as a kid. Yeah, different. Because today you go get some cookies in the grocery store, you get cereal. Frosted Flakes aren't great. Well, they're great to hook you. It's exactly what's happening. And I've been screaming about this for a long, long time. Long time. I want you to understand my philosophy, my raison d'être, a good French word meaning how I operate. because it's all by observation and history. What happened? Why are we so sick? Imagine going from the Spanish flu and medicine, you know, they learned a lot of things from that, and that was good. I mean, they know how to fight a bug, but I mean, that's all they think of. If you got high blood pressure, what does medicine do? Well, let's give you a pill. Yeah, but I'd rather know why do you have high blood pressure? It ain't cholesterol. Why do you think, you know, the leading #1 selling medication of all time in terms of revenues is Lipitor, a statin drug. I watched the invention of them. I was shocked. What? Why are they trying to lower cholesterol? But they made, then they made LDL. They can measure it. Oh, LDL, that's bad cholesterol. We must lower bad cholesterol. Well, how's that worked for you? We haven't even put a dent in heart disease. Why? We're looking for love in all the wrong places. So the lie, it's grown and grown and grown to a point that, like I said, go door to door. Go in your hometown if you want, go door to door and do a survey. What causes heart disease? Okay, question number 1. What causes heart disease? And at that door, 99% of responses, well, one of them might be, I don't know. But anybody that's watching news or watches TV or has any kind of idea would say, well, yeah, it's cholesterol. And if you ask them about eating, the first words out of their mouth will be moderation. Eat from the food pyramid. Eat 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times a day. Eat frequently. And guys, it's all wrong. It's all wrong. So they switched the flour. The start of fast foods. They switched the oil. They switched the fat. In their minds, fat makes you fat. Fat gives you cholesterol. So what did they do? We have been on a failed experiment for the last 70 years or so, with the advent of Crisco. Butter's no good. Margarine is better. Okay? Butter's no good. Margarine is better. Even McDonald's. The food police came to McDonald's in the 1970s and said, you better change your oil. You are cooking with the wrong oil. You have to use a low hydrogenated oil. We want you to switch. And that's what's made fast foods. Fast foods were never not that I ever recommended anybody to go to. I go to McDonald's, I'll have a coffee. Okay, I like their coffee. But But you go to McDonald's or Wendy's or whatever, it's what they cook their food in. It's bad oil. It was meant for your car. You can clean. Canada's gift to the world, canola oil. It's making us very sick. You heat up that oil. First of all, it was meant for your car and not for you. Your body doesn't even really know what it is. So it starts an inflammation. Why do you think, my friend, why do you think we have so much autoimmune disease today? Why do you think that our bodies are reacting to what we're eating like never before? Because your body doesn't know what it is. That's why we're so big. That's why we're so inflamed. Your body almost thinks, well, what are you giving me? So it reacts. It reacts. Think of what your immune system is, my friend. Okay? So when you eat, your immune system says, oh, that's good. Here, come on in. Okay? You eat butter. Your immune system goes, that's good for you. Come here. We need you. But if you eat margarine, your body goes, what is that? That's not natural. I don't know how to process that. I'm not processing this. So your body says, I'm going to start an immune reaction to this because this is a foreign invader. Why do you think, guys, that we're so inflamed today? And you look at inflammation without infection. Okay, understand what I'm saying now. Your immune system goes wonky because it doesn't even understand. What are you giving me? I don't even know what that is. Your body doesn't know what those bad oils are. It's not meant to be put into your system, so your body goes, okay. Look, why do you think, okay, let me just finish with this because I'm on a tangent. Why do you think the reset is so good for you? In a lot of ways. It is so anti-inflammatory. When you are eating eggs, your body goes, thank you. Thank you. It's got lots of fat, and fat's good, the good fat. It's got lots of protein. Hallelujah, your body says. And then it has no sugar. No sugar, no artificial anything. It's just good for you. And your body goes, yippee, yippee, yay. You have a piece of meat. Your body goes, I like that. It's all protein, healthy fat, low carbohydrate, no sugar. Your body goes, I love that. Cheese. Your body needs dairy, my friend. It does. But it doesn't need store-bought milk. Why do I love cheese so much? Why do I love butter so much? Dairy. Dairy's good. Don't skip dairy. Switch dairy. Don't ditch it. Switch it. Okay? And so this is, guys, this is why. Why are we so sick? That's why. They switched everything. It started with flour. Then they switched the oils with Crisco. Started with Crisco. Procter and Gamble. They were trying to figure out how we could use these cheap oils. And they were powerful. They gave, in the 1930s, listen to this, they gave $1 million to the American Heart Association to say, this is in the 1930s, my friend. $1 million, like that's $1 billion today. They said, here, now go out and tell everybody that cholesterol is bad, and when you have these vegetable oils, there's no cholesterol in it. Yeah. They denatured everything. They denatured flour. They denatured milk. They denatured oil. They denatured salt. You don't want me to get into that. They denatured it. They took all the nutrients out of salt to make table salt. You know, that's why I get so excited, guys, because I want to give you that information so you make the better choices. So for you and your family. Okay. What's tomorrow? Question and answer Friday. Okay, so send your questions in. It's not too late. And we love you guys. You know that, right? Okay? So we're on tomorrow. Okay, and I surprised you today. Okay, I love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.